I decided that yes, running is where I started. This is the thing which got me but I also have to, let the world know that we can be the ultra cyclists who can ride with them in all those tough events like TCR or RAM. And whenever they say the name of some of the top ultra cyclists, our names can be said in the same breath. Let us at least try to do that. The mistake what I did was, after coming back from Yerkad, there was a small shop open, which I never do. I ate there, and what I ate was parotha and chicken. I never eat that. I never. But I wanted to eat something else. But that guy said, sir, this is very fresh. You eat this. So I ate that. And by the time it was 4 o'clock, I was like, got huge diarrhea. Next day, sir said, do you want to continue? I said, no, now I don't want to continue because the race is gone for me. I mean, I don't want to just finish the race. In the back of the mind, there was something which was saying me, are you quitting because you are done, or are you quitting because you are scared? But I just wanted to see whether am I running away or am I really not well.
What were you thinking that you were running away?
I am Venki, a working professional in IT as well as an amateur masters athlete and a coach for endurance sports. You are listening to the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, I have a small request from you. Please subscribe to the channel on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. You can also let me know what you like and what you would like to listen to more of by commenting in the comment section on YouTube. I promise to do my best to improve with each episode and bring you the best content that helps you and me get better each day. In this episode, I talk to Abhishek Kumar Singh. Abhishek is an ultra cyclist from Bangalore who has recently completed circumnavigating Karnataka. In the process, he rode self-supported and completed 2,300 kilometers in 137 hours. He is one of the fastest ultra riders in the country who wants to show that Indian ultra riders can be talked about in the same lines as the world's best. He has completed Paris Brest Paris, Edinburgh London, and many other ultra cycling events around the world, as well as the most challenging rides in the country, including Gates of Heaven. In this episode, he shares not only his experiences from his epic rides, but also his intense training and recovery routines in great detail. He also shares in detail how he manages to train for 25 to 30 hours per week while tending to a young family and managing work. It was amazing to listen to his experiences and daily routines. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. This episode is brought to you by The Bike Affair. If you are in search of a one-stop destination that caters to all your cycling needs, our today's sponsor, The Bike Affair, is the perfect place to check out. I have known the founders of The Bike Affair, Krish and Gokul, personally for nearly 15 years now. In fact, my first century ride was with Krish back in 2008. They are both exceptional human beings and entrepreneurs that believe in providing exceptional service to their customers. And it shows. With over 14 years of experience, the Bike Affair has established itself as a trusted source offering honest advice and exceptional service. They are offering a special treat for the listeners of this podcast. You can enjoy a 10% discount on your first order by using the code BikeyVenki on their website. So if you are in Hyderabad, visit their store in Kondapur, or if you are anywhere else in India, shop online by using the link thebikeaffair.com. I will leave the link in the show notes. Now, enjoy the podcast.
Hi Abhishek, welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast.
Thank you, sir.
So Abhishek, you just came back from doing what ride?
Circumnavigating
Circumnavigating Karnataka.
Yeah.
Is it like Race Across Karnataka?
Yeah, you can say
as I think initially a couple of years ago,
Srinivas Gokulnath had conceptualized
envisioned.
this idea. He did it
Correct.
with the crew support.
Right. Awesome. And you did it in self-supported
yeah.
mode. Excellent. So, kind of before we get into that, I want to understand what was your relationship with sport growing up?
Sure. So, I mean, since childhood, we have been too much into. I mean, I come from a very small place in Bihar, so we were attracted towards cricket too much. So, and of course, nothing like a proper pad and gloves and all. It was just taking a ball and a bat and running to the field and playing. So, apart from that, in the school, I used to play football, but it was only till ninth standard. In ninth standard, I had to start wearing glasses, so the football went out of the window. And then for next 2 to 3 years, there was almost like no sports. It was mostly 10th and then 12th. So uh, I mean, in 99 I did my 10th. So back then there was, of course, a lot of pressure, to do the 10th and 12th well. After that, I joined engineering college in Karnataka. So there I started with my bodybuilding. So did a lot of weightlifting
Bodybuilding,
there.
huh?
Yes,
Wow.
I did a lot of training in weightlifting, powerlifting and weightlifting, and also uh, went to university level championships for powerlifting.
Nice.
So I had a good squat and deadlift. So
Nice.
and after my college, even when I joined my first company, for the first 3 years, it was like 2 days 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. It was just going to the gym.
Wow.
So I was about 90 kilos. So currently I'm 60. I was
Whoa.
90 kilos in weight, and
what's
I
your
had
height?
huge. I am 168.
Not
So I
really like
yes
tall,
no
but 90
yeah.
kilos
So I had
proper
huge.
build.
I had huge build, and I mean, and I could bench 350 pounds very easily in the gym. But then again,
That's like about 170.
yes,
160. Wow.
around 170, 180 kilos.
And what's your squat and deadlift?
So squat deadlift was 220 kilos,
Wow. Wow.
and squat I don't remember, but I think it was around 120 or 130 kilos.
Oh my God. Can't
So
even
bench was my strongest.
Uh,
I was very strong in bench.
Right.
But then the reality hit me that this is not what I have to do. So I started preparing for my MBA.
Mhm.
So then when you are working and you are studying also,
Curious, what were you were doing at that time?
So,
what was
I was
work for you?
I was working with Infosys,
Uh-huh.
and Infosys, what it pays to the freshers and 2 to 3 year experienced
Where
guys.
was this?
In Bangalore,
Bangalore.
Infosys
only.
Bangalore.
Yeah.
So then I started preparing for my MBA, and it took me 2 years. So that was the first time when CAT went online. So for those 2 years, I didn't go to the gym at all. I mean, there was no time. Coming back from office and sitting with the book, so it used to take a lot of time. So all that 90 kilos turned into a lot of fat, because
Right.
all that diet, that the food that you eat, I mean, you keep eating that. So I became totally fat, and my face had swollen. So then I joined for my MBA in IIM Mumbai. So it was NITI erstwhile, now they have made it IIM Mumbai. I joined there. First 6 months was fine, but then I realized, no, this is what. So then I started losing weight and started running. So then I got into
Which year was this?
This was in 2012 when I started running back. So from 2012 I got into running, and then after NITI I went to Chennai. I joined in Chennai. I started running with the Chennai runners. Did a lot of marathons, ultra marathons as well, with a lot of Chennai runners. I mean, back then people knew me very well. So 2014 was my first. So in 2014 I ran. It was Standard Chartered Marathon back then. So it was a 3:30 full marathon, which was a very good for someone.
Was it
like
your first one?
No, that was like after 1.5 years of training. But,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
So
330 is pretty good.
330, and then in 2015 again I ran Rome Marathon in 330. So these two were good, and then I moved back to Bangalore.
Yeah.
So moving back to Bangalore again, you find your college friends here.
Right. So before we get into, let's stick a little bit on, let's linger a little bit on the running part.
Right.
You said marathons and ultra marathons. What was the longest run?
100 kilometer.
100 kilometers. When was this?
This was done in Bangalore Ultra. I think that was in 2014.
Is that
Yes, trail,
bamboo
exactly.
trail?
Yes, yes.
Wow. Okay. And
2014.
2014. Amazing. So I mean, like, what was your kind of preparation and kind of how did you execute a race like that? 100 kilometers is pretty long.
So for me, it was mostly, even now, and even when I was running, it's mostly building the mileage. For me, mileage matters a lot. With mileage, there are a lot of theories like, run slow, run fast, and run less, run fast. I don't believe in all that. I believe you put mileage in your legs, your legs should be able to power you through. So my mileage used to be 120 to 140 kilometers every week of running.
Nice.
So, good mileage.
That's pretty
yes,
strong
it was
mileage.
a good mileage.
Yeah.
So that helped me a lot, and to not suffer during the races.
Okay. And how long did it take the 100 kilometers?
So it took me around 10 hours.
Nice.
Right.
Oh, super.
Man, I had some very good gurus also when I was in Chennai. One of them was Anil Sharma sir. So he was very supportive and very helpful. And even now, we speak, and he's helpful and supportive with whatever I do right now.
Right. Nandini Sharma's father. Yes. Yeah. No,
when I was there, Nandini and Aditya were very small.
Yeah. Kids, right? Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, he has not only helped, people like you, but also kind of nurtured both of them into sports, which is very good. So yeah, coming after Chennai, you moved back to Bangalore. When was this?
So I moved back to Bangalore in 2015. So that was because my wife was finding it a bit difficult with the Chennai environment, and she is a local Kannadiga, so she said no, we'll go back to Bangalore. So we moved to Bangalore, and with Bangalore comes the baggage of friends,
right?
Because I did my engineering in Mandya, so I had a lot of friends in Bangalore. So the running slowly started going out of the window. Every weekend somebody or someone else would be inviting you, and so then it took around, it was a lot of on and off, running again, stopping, running, stopping. So, and it went on for, I think, around 4 years. And then I went back to the gym. And I again was getting into a good build, but then, my daughter was born. And for a month, I couldn't go. And then once I went back again, the mistake that I did was that I started lifting from the same weight, and I got a tennis elbow. So which took me out of the weights for 1 year.
Right. Which year was this?
This was in 2017.
Right. We always, we kind of assume, right, that, I mean, I lifted that much at that point of time, I should be able to, pick up where we left off. Right? But that 1 month gap is like you will lose the fitness, you will lose the muscle strength. It kind of translates very well to other areas as well, be it running, cycling. You give it a bit of gap, you are kind of losing that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Right. So that injury kind of got you.
Yeah, it got me derailed again. And then, with small kid comes a lot of responsibility.
Right.
So again, I started putting on weight. But then I had a very old cycle, which, used to lie outside my house gathering the dust. So, and this is about 2019. So a neighbor of mine came and said, let us get this repaired. So forcefully he took me and the cycle, and we got it repaired. And now since the cycle was repaired, so I thought now I have to at least ride. So I started riding. And
what was your weight at that point of time?
I think it was around 80 kilos.
Right.
So I started riding, so it was 20, 30, 40. And for me, the thing is, once I start riding every day, I will try to increase.
Right.
It's not like, it's just 20, it's done. It's 25 today, 30 tomorrow, 40 next day. So I kept on increasing to 80,
Yeah.
90 kilometers in that cycle.
You are someone who is used to that rhythm,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The daily discipline of
Yeah.
gym with be it powerlifting and bodybuilding, right? So that once you get into the rhythm,
Exactly.
again that discipline kicks in,
Yeah.
and like structure and all that kind of comes in.
Correct. Yes. that is
Amazing.
true.
So how did that progression from
So I
daily
kept
riding
that cycle. I started cycling, kept doing that for for 6 months or something, and
This is a single speed kind of cycle, or how is
no,
that?
it was a 7x3 that Heroes, some Hercules or something.
Right.
It was a. I had bought it in Chennai in 2012, so it was a.
It's an MTB.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So kept riding, but I thought after 18, I took couple of days. I went to airport road and came back. I felt very, it was like I was knackered in 80 kilometers. But then I used to see and read, people riding so many so much of distance. How? So I thought, okay, let me go for a roadie. Just like that. And just then COVID had stuck. Okay, and so everything
March
was
2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and that is when I decided to get the roadie. So once the lockdowns were lifted, first lockdown, I started searching for the cycle roadie, and there was not available for it was not available at all. Somehow I came to know from bots that they have a Villiers. It was a size bigger that I came to know later, but they had a M size Villiers, so which they have. I said, okay, I'll go ahead and take it. I took that cycle and then started my randoneering journey.
And this Villiers was when was this?
This was something around June or July.
June of July 2020.
Yes.
Okay. So how you got into randoneering? What was it like? The initial days of that.
So in my apartment, there is another cyclist called Jaiprakash. JP we call him lovingly. So JP was also staying. So got connected with him, and he took me for a 200-kilometer night ride. I mean, he was bloody fast. I was barely able to catch him, but me being me, the competitiveness that I had, I thought, whatever, just ride with him. Then through Anil sir only, I came to know that, start doing brevets. Okay, so I registered for the first brevet, and the first brevet, unfortunately, was Anchetti 200.
It's like a
Yeah.
trial by fire kind
Oh,
of
yes.
situation.
And by the time I finished in some 10 and a half hours, by the time I came home, I was like cursing everybody. I mean, who keeps this sort of, route, this much of elevation in this sun, and it was the initial days, right? So I had no idea what sort of bib short to wear, nothing. I mean, just sit on the cycle and ride. So it hurt a lot, that 200.
Right.
But then it also gave that pleasure. Okay, chalo, abhi I have done a 200, so so that
You
is
might
how
be
it
cursing
started.
yourself while you're doing
Yes,
it,
exactly.
but once you stop,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
sense of
definitely.
achievement, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then with 200 and 300, then went for Dhanush Kodi 600. And then within a year, in 2022, January, there was some lottery for LEL going on, London, Edinburgh, London. So we applied, and Mohan sir supported. So we got the entry and went to LEL in 22 July. Finished LEL.
So, I mean, let's not just LEL is not a small thing, right? So to kind of qualify for it, you have to. Is there any qualification
no, for
like
LEL
PBP?
there is no qualification.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But what was the longest distance you have done before?
Before LEL, I had done GOH.
Oh, Gates of Heaven.
Yeah, Gates
That's
of Heaven.
the 1,000 kilometers,
1200
1,200 kilometers with lot of elevation.
Lot of elevation.
Right. what was it like? Let's talk about GOH, right?
Yeah.
This is something that our Bangalore randomness has curated and created this. And this is a bloody tough ride.
It is a very tough ride.
Right? 1200 kilometers with
I think
don't
around
know,
14,000 meters of
14,000 meters of elevation,
Yeah.
with covering most of the climbs
Yes.
in South India. It's like crazy. I mean,
It's tough.
so I have to give kudos to Mohan, and his team that he works with at Bangalore Randomness, kind of curating these
So, yeah,
awesome rides
definitely.
to make the riders stronger.
Yes.
Because it is very easy to do 1,000. I mean, I should not say it is easy, but most people would even if it is 600 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers on a highway, go out
Yes.
and back kind of situation, and they see, oh, I have done 1,000 kilometers, and then they will turn up somewhere like PBP
Exactly.
or LEL, and reality hits.
Exactly. That is
It's
very
like everything is up and down, the temperature conditions and variations and everything kind of hits you like a jolt.
Definitely.
That's what happened in the initial years of when people started going to PBP, LEL, and the completion rates were really, really low. Now, but with all these rides like GOH and all, it's
Right.
like changed the
Yes.
landscape really well. And I think Bangalore randomness has
Oh,
played a
yes.
huge role in that.
Yeah, and the thing is, people from all the parts of country come to do this so that they get that experience to finish those rides.
Yeah. So what was your GOH experience like?
My GOH experience. So I was just a year into all this randoneering when
Right.
GOH came, and back then again I was around 76, 77. I would say I was strong enough, but I wouldn't say I was fit enough. The core strength that you need for those long distances, it was not there. But anyways, it started, and there was a lot of challenges. I took a fall in Chikmagalur, and because of that, my knee got swollen. Yeah.
Wow.
And another problem for me is that I can't sleep when so easily. For me, if only if my body says that you have to sleep is when I can sleep. It's not that the sleep location has come, the dropback location has come, and I'll close my eyes and I'll be able to sleep. That never happens.
Right.
So at the first drop bag in GOH, I was not able to sleep. And although I lied for 2-3 hours, lie down, but no, nothing. Then, and there were a lot of very challenging climbs, and I had decided that I have time, I'll walk those climbs. I'm not going to hurt my knee. So I think I walked around 5 kilometers in GOH in some of the very difficult climbs, but I was still able to make it. At around 1,000 kilometer after the second drawback, at around 1,000 kilometer was where I wanted to give up, because I had not slept for 2 nights, and now I was feeling very low. So I went to a coffee day which is near Hunsur. I sat there, I ordered couple of coffees, and I slept on their couch for an hour. Got up, drank those 2 coffees, and I was fine.
Right. So that kind of the sleep
Yes.
deprivation is taken care of, even if it is a short,
Yes.
1 hour sleep.
Exactly.
That would have rejuvenated
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
And on top of it, coffee then would have perked you up again.
Definitely.
Yeah. Super. So and you were able to complete the
Yes, I was able to finish in 86 hours, so it was
amazing. What is the cutoff?
90 hours.
90 hours is the limit for such a challenging
1200,
thing. Amazing. So it's kind of cutoff is similar to what PBP
Yes,
has,
exactly
right?
same.
So 90 hours for
Yes.
1200 kilometers
Yes.
is our own Desi version, which
Yes.
is kind of
Yeah.
amazing. So you said you fell and
Yeah,
hurt your knee,
Yes.
right? How long into the ride
So
was
it
it?
was around 300 or 350 kilometer into the ride.
Damn. So what was it like to kind of, keep riding
Yeah,
that?
just lie down. I spoke to my wife. She said, "No, you can't quit. Just lie down, spray some, some Volini or something. Lie down, lift your leg, and then start going."
Uh,
I mean,
so
so there was no mercy from anyone, whomever I spoke to.
right. So I think you are kind of you surrounded yourself with
Yes,
people like that
yes,
who
yes,
will kind of, push
definitely.
you.
People won't let me quit.
Amazing, amazing. So you finished that
Yeah,
and you signed up for LEL.
LEL.
So what was the experience at LEL? That is like it's your first
Yes,
international
international
ride,
ride.
right?
So LEL was an amazing experience. So I'm going again this year for LEL.
Hmm.
So just to get that experience. So uh, mostly when it used to get dark, you could see a huge moon, and I feel it used to feel nearer than the moon that we see here, you
Right,
know, and all peaceful, quiet, you know there is no sound. It's just you, your cycle on the road, and the moon.
right.
It was very beautiful. It was bliss. I mean, I close my eyes today after 3 years. I can still visualize LEL. I'm riding on those roads.
Amazing, amazing. So, but this is like 1600 kilometers,
Yeah,
uh,
1540
1540 from London to Edinburgh
and
and
back.
back. And this course is always undulating
Yes,
and very windy also,
very windy also at some places.
right?
Yes.
So, because I was at one point, I was supporting a crazy ride that my friend Dipankar was doing, and it is unrelenting. He was going downhill at 15 kmph because the wind
Yes.
wouldn't let you build way, and also the roads there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like
It's not a smooth tarmac.
they're very very rough,
Yes, very.
and the rolling resistance is huge,
Yes, that is true.
right? So how was the experience, as in like what were the challenges that you faced during that, and how did you kind of get it?
So I mean, the challenge was very, the targets were very defined for me. This, so since it's a 1500-kilometer event and we get around 128 hours, so it comes to 5+ days. So every day's target was ride 300 plus 3000 meter of climbing and then take a break. So for 5 days you do that, you will be able to complete it. So the challenge was mostly, the first 300 kilometers are apparently flat. So you can build some buffer there.
Right.
But then starts those, tough hills, huge hills. Huge in the sense, I wouldn't say it's as big as our, Ooty and all,
Right.
but very sharp hills and they will keep coming.
Correct. They're never ending,
Yes.
never
They
relenting. They are
keep
like spikes.
Yeah.
They're steep, even if
Exactly.
they are short, and then you again another wind
Yeah.
will come. Right.
And challenge in the daytime was the heat. It was very hot, and in the night for us it was very
Very
cold,
cold.
very cold.
Right.
So even after layering up so much, uh, it was not possible for us to ride. Otherwise, I never sleep on the first night when we start. I never sleep, but I mean, it was impossible to ride in the night.
Right. So where would you sleep, and
So
what was that?
the controls. So the controls in LEL have all these air mattresses. So you go there, you say them that you want to sleep, they'll assign you a air mattress. And
What was the frequency of these controls?
it would be around 100 kilometers per control.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would maybe
Yes.
cover 3 controls and
Yes.
you stop
Correct.
at the third
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Right. And what do these controls have apart
So
from
they have
sleeping?
full meals, everything. It's
Right.
all you within the
Covered in the
registration.
registration.
Yes.
Right.
Full meals, shower, towels, bed, the waking up service, everything is there. And 2 of the controls even have drop bags, which you give it to them.
Right. That's amazing,
That's
right?
yes, very good support.
So, and you slept on the first day.
Yeah.
And how did you kind of manage the next few days?
So every day it was like, sleep at around 11,
Hmm.
11:30 in the night,
Hmm.
get up by 4,
Hmm.
and then again start riding. The goal was to, try to go to the next control.
Hmm.
It wasn't looking beyond the next control.
Right.
Just reach the next control, decide from there.
Right.
So reach the next control, have food there, and then keep going.
Hmm.
So even if you reached a control at 10 and there was a control after 80 kilometers, it was challenging. That 80 kilometers now it might take me 5 hours.
Right.
So and you cannot sleep outside.
Hmm.
You cannot sleep outside.
So those temperatures would be like single digits.
Yes,
and
single digit.
It's very
Exactly.
you know,
And we don't carry all those sleep bags and all.
hypothermia is very
Yes, exactly.
real. Yeah. Okay. So you would stop wherever is like
Wherever there's
possible.
a control which we felt was visible. So sometimes first day it was 387 kilometers, second day it was 650 kilometer, then it was around while coming back 780 kilometers. So I mean somewhat 300.
Right.
And only the last night we didn't sleep. We said we'll just push it and finish it off.
Nice. So how are you managing your nutrition and hydration during this?
So nutrition and hydration was not a challenge because since every 100 kilometers, so we used to fill the bottles and we used to go ahead with it.
Nice.
And nutrition also, there used to be bars which you could carry with you
Right.
in the controls itself. Apart from that, we all had some nutrition that we had carried, which we had put in the drop bag. If required, we took those out and kept it with us.
Nice. When it is kind of very well supported.
Yes, it is a very good.
Right. Excellent. So in that case, you will not be able. I mean, you need not worry that much
Yes,
about
exactly.
it. Excellent. So you completed it in how many?
It in 110 hours.
Nice. 135 is the cutoff.
128 is
128 is the cutoff. Excellent. So and you completed that successfully 2022.
Yeah.
July.
July,
Right.
August.
Excellent. And after coming back, how was the progression like?
So after coming back, again, I think everybody who came back stopped cycling, sort of a thing. I mean, yes. So we all went into hibernation. I think for 3-4 months, and we knew next year is PBP.
Right.
2023. So again from October we started cycling. But I injured myself in 2022 October. I was doing another 1000 breve. It was Kittur 1000. So while coming back from Kittur, near Haveri, which is some 300-350 from here, it was night and I took a fall.
Okay.
Because the road shoulder and the main road had this much of gap, so I couldn't climb up. So and that broke my
wrist.
Yeah, thumb over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So but there were guys who gave me, they have those bandanas, right? For the cold. They gave me that. I wrapped it up.
Right.
And even then nobody allowed me to quit. So wrapping that, I finished that 1000 kilometers. But then 2 months again I was off out from riding as
because
well.
of that fracture.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
So then again the preparation started from December, January, February. So in February I did a good ride. It was again a 1200 Bangalore Goa Bangalore. So it was done in 67 hours. So I felt very confident. And then in March there was another 600. It was just a flat highway 600 from here to Ranebennur and back.
So this before we get into that, this Bangalore Goa to Bangalore. So what is the terrain like? It's all again rolling,
it's
right?
Very rolling.
Very rolling.
Very
right?
rolling terrain.
I mean, we drove there.
Yes, it's very rolling.
It's very rolling.
Very rolling.
And how this is a self-supported thing,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you kind of plan such a ride when it is
Bangalore Goa Bangalore was also a breve.
Yeah.
But for me it became self-supported because I used to reach before the cutoff, before the start time of the
control.
Yes.
Is it like
yeah, when Mohan sir used, I used to reach before that. So I kept pushing. So again, I carry some food with me all the time, and usually I don't eat much in the night. I
Right.
don't feel hungry because I'll be mostly riding in the zone 2. So, and I feel zone 2 is powered by fat. So, and I have a lot. So,
Not now.
not now. Yeah. So, yeah. So, and apart from that, I usually don't eat too much of, meal or something, which is, you sit and eat, because then it takes a lot of time to start again and get into that rhythm.
Right.
Your stomach becomes heavy, and so it's just small meals, grab and go.
Grab and go kind of say on you eat on the go.
Yes.
Mostly. So that's very important, right? When you that's a great point you mentioned about cooling down and
Yes.
then starting again.
Correct.
A lot of people, a lot of riders, especially those who are new to brevet scene, kind of tend to fall
Yes,
in
they make that
make
mistake.
this mistake. Taking longer breaks
Yes.
is never a great
No,
idea.
never.
Even if you have good buffer,
Yes.
you kind of have to make those stops very efficient,
Yes.
right?
That is.
Spend as little off saddle time as possible and keep moving. And that way what you can do is you don't have to spend riding fast,
Yeah.
so you save energy.
Exactly.
You don't have to work hard to warm up your body again.
Yes.
So you keep moving, that way you are in the rhythm
Yes.
all the time.
Exactly.
Right? So that is something that most new riders don't consider.
Yeah.
Okay, they see the food stop, they spend maybe an
Yeah,
hour
they
or
hour
something.
or hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is true.
that kind of throws your rhythm
Exactly.
a lot. It's like starting the ride all over again, right? You might get away with it for say 200 kilometers and all that,
Yeah.
but for longer
Long
rides it
rides,
actually multiplies, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, excellent. So where were we? We were talking
Yeah.
about.
So after BGB,
Hmm.
my goal was for PVP to finish it under, to be the fastest Indian finisher. So before that, the fastest Indian finisher was, I think, Sameem Rizvi with 74 hours and some minutes. So I think this time, whoever had gone, we all had the same aim to be
Right.
the fastest Indian, at least
Yeah.
to beat that time.
Sanjeev,
Yes.
you,
Myself, John, Sanjeev, Kishan, JP,
all
of
strong
us
riders.
had gone there with the
Yeah.
same idea.
Right.
So I thought to reach that, achieve that goal, at least let me try. So there is a brevet, 600 brevet, Bangalore to Ranebennur and back, 600 with 3,500 meter elevation, which is mostly on the highway. So I thought if I can do it in under 24 hours, probably we can look at it. So I finished it in 23 hours. So I was happy. Okay, chalo, the progression is good. But then what happened before PVP? I got some huge work from the work side,
Right.
and so my training went off balance. So I had come down to around 72 kilos. But then again, by the time I was at the starting line of PVP, I was 76 or 77. Again, too much of weight.
Yeah, life kind of throws curveballs
Exactly, that is true.
It's like we plan everything and we think, oh, I have this target, let me do this, but then life has its
Yes.
own plans as well.
Definitely.
Work comes into the picture, family comes into the picture, someone if in the family is not well or that.
Yeah.
This is a huge thing, right? So you made it to the start line with
Yeah.
76. So
Yes.
how did it that go?
So I think the ride went well as per my current fitness, what was back then. I finished in 71 and a half hours around, which was okay, but it was 7th overall in India. See, I being coming from the the mindset of weightlifting and then running. So in running, in marathons, we don't usually consider as finishers. For us, it's I mean, are you winning? What is your ranking?
Yeah.
If you are finishing, what was your place? Was it 10, 15? So I look at that way, cycling,
Right.
just for myself,
Yeah.
even if it's a breve, I look it as a position, as a perspective. Okay, was I fast enough?
Hmm.
So I finished 7th. All of us beat Samim Rizvi's time,
Hmm.
but again, some
Right.
people did wonders, and
Yeah.
Sanjeev did
Sanjeev,
it in 56 hours.
crazy
Yeah,
time.
Sanjeev in 56 hours, John in 59 hours. And then we had our Rohan, Kishan, Vibhav, all these guys in sub 70. And then JP, Rajkumar, myself in 70, 71 hours. So,
Crazy, right? Uh, for someone who, I mean, Samim hasn't been cycling for a long
yeah,
time. That is something that was done maybe in 2011 or something like that,
2015, I think.
2015, and almost 7, 8 of you kind of did better than that.
Yeah.
But the kind of uh, the target now
Yes.
is what,
It's very
56,
difficult.
right? Nice, nice. But that also kind of shows it, what I was talking about earlier,
Yeah,
right?
that is
The
true.
level
Yes.
of riders now,
Yeah.
the endurance riders now,
Yeah, that is true.
is amazing, right? Is no longer like uh, what is the finish percentage. We are not.
Yes.
We stopped looking at finish percentage. Maybe it is still not as great as some of the other countries that are there, but still it's a huge improvement from
It's a huge
others.
improvement.
And now we are not looking at cutoffs.
No,
We're
definitely.
looking at how fast can we be.
Exactly. We are now looking at setting benchmarks.
Right.
That is true.
That is amazing to see, and it's a huge testament to the randoneering community of various various clubs around the country,
Right.
not just Bangalore
Yeah,
Randoneers.
definitely.
Bangalore Randoneers, we being in Bangalore, I have a affinity towards that because it has done a lot of things,
Yes.
that to contribute to that. So, and it is really, really great to see from. I remember the first time that I heard about PBP was back in 2011, and I think some 10 people or something like that went, and a couple of them finished outside the cutoff, I think, and there was a little bit of negotiation with the organizers and all that at that time. It's like from that to now, people like 7, 8 people completing in record times is amazing to see. Right. So you did that. You were
After PBP.
after PBP. What was?
So after PBP coming back again, it was like a hibernation for everybody. So that was 2023. So 2023 again, I think for one whole year I didn't do any breves. I used to do my training, so I mostly train indoors. Looking at the current Bangalore traffic, it's very difficult to go out and train.
Right, right.
And being indoor, you are able to, family sees that you are there.
Yeah.
Even though you are not present there to look after them, at least, you are there physically.
Right.
So that gives us more time.
So what, let's spend a little bit on that. So what is, when you're spending more time indoors, what is the typical kind of training week or a month look like?
So if I talk about now, from past 6 months or 8 months, so from past 8 months, it's mostly around 4 hours to 5 hours of training daily. And in that, some days would be mostly zone 2. And some of the days I break it into 2 sessions. 2 hours of it will be, riding with in zone 3 or zone 4. And then the next 2 hours in the evening would be again going back to zone 2.
Right.
So in a week, it would be around 25 to 30 hours of training.
Wow. And mostly all of it indoors?
All of it indoors.
Wow. That is insane.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, like, are there any, do you split the training like this morning and evening on most days, or how?
So it's mostly like, if it's a zone 2 effort, if it's an easy effort, it will be done in a stretch,
Right.
4-hour stretch. But if it's a tough effort, then I break it up into two. Morning I do 2 hours, and then in the evening I take again the easy part, do the easy zone.
So indoor training is considered one of the most boring
Yes, it is.
activities there is, like it's like that dialogue in Interstellar where 1 hour here is 7 years
Exactly,
there,
that is true.
right? Whatever it is outside time, time on the trainer feels like years,
Exactly, that
ages,
is true.
right? So how do you kind of make sure that you are like engaged, and what do you do? Do you watch something?
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So if it's a zone 2, if you watch something, you can still sustain. But again, what I have seen is that you watch something, your power numbers go down.
Right.
You get distracted, and then in the end, you don't even train in that level as well. So what I do is that so in Zwift there are a lot of pacer groups. So whichever pacer group I have to train with today, I attach them myself with them, and I keep riding with them for the whole time. So that way I'm on track, and then I put some music. So mostly it will be some mariachi music or something with just the beats, so that and for me, monotony is not which bores me. I like monotony because I myself am a very boring person. So so monotonous, I think
for the primary quality that an ultra endurance athlete needs to have is to be okay with being bored.
Yes, that is true.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that is
Like
true.
you are spending hours and hours together, miles and miles together,
Yes.
mostly alone with your own
Exactly.
thoughts, right?
Exactly.
You got to be comfortable in your own mind.
That is true.
Right? Otherwise, if you are
can't.
needing to be entertained all the time,
Yes.
you're not going to get it.
Exactly. That is
right?
true.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, that is something that most of the people who are thinking of ultra endurance need to kind of
Yeah,
consider.
definitely.
Yeah. Amazing. So you train like that.
Yeah.
20 to
20 to 25 to 30 hours.
Wow.
And then I also punch in with some around 5 hours of running.
Man, so what's your when do you kind of start your ride to get a 4-hour ride before you start work?
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So from the work perspective, to be very honest and touch wood, I have been very blessed, and it's been almost 19 years now that I have been working, and it has always been a smooth sail. It has never been hectic for me. It mostly comes to 3 to 4 hours of work where I can finish my things off, and so my day starts at 6:30 when we get up to get my daughter ready. Once she goes to the school, 7:30 I go out for a run, an hour's run, come back by 8:30, then drop my son to school, come back by 9:15. From 9:15 I sit on the cycle, and till 1:15 I'm on the cycle.
Nice.
And then I get down, go and get my son back from school, and then have lunch, and then start with the work.
So it's work from home for you?
Yes. So mostly 2 days in a week, you can go to office, but it's not yet so.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I go sometimes, but yeah.
I mean that sort of flexibility is really important, right? We kind of tend to ignore that situation because it is important that whatever you are doing should not put undue pressure on top of what what you need to do.
True.
Like work is important, family time is
Yes,
important. So once you if your training and whatever your goals are putting stress on those
Yes.
two, it becomes a problem.
Exactly.
Right? So at least in your case, there is that sort of flexibility
Yes.
where you can kind of
Yeah.
you can manage to put in that much. Yeah.
And then from evening I am free for family and
Mm,
kids.
right. Yeah. I mean, even morning you are kind of taking them to
Yes.
school and all,
Yeah, that
getting them back from school and all that. You are there
Yeah.
most of the time. Excellent. So that's your training thing.
Yeah.
So how does your kind of rest and sleep look like? Because this sort of load is
Yeah.
quite substantial,
It is,
right? That this is something that I hear only from pros. These many hours. You were adding running,
right.
you're adding cycling. There 25 to 30 hours is not a joke,
Yeah.
right? So how do you take care of like what does your nutrition look like? What does because these many hours also
Yeah.
need fuel.
Exactly.
Exactly, right? And recovery in terms of rest. How do
Yes.
you what let's talk about
So,
those angles.
so from recovery perspective, once I get my, so I log in at around 1:30.
Mhm.
So it's mostly, checking through the mails, and
Mhm.
if there is nothing, then I take an hour's nap.
Mhm.
I say, my son, don't wake me up.
Mm.
And then, after lunch, I take an hour's nap, and then I get up, and in the evening also, I am only supposed to be online till 10 p.m.
Mhm.
So I go to bed at 10
Mm.
and get up at 6,
Mm.
6:30. So
Right.
8.5 hours of sleep I get in the night.
Right.
And from the fueling perspective, one thing what I focus on is the protein.
Mm.
It's not too much, but 2 grams per kilogram of body
Right.
weight is what I take.
Mm.
So it would come to around 135, 140 grams
How
of
do you
protein.
consume that protein?
So it would be like I would take 1 scoop of whey protein,
Mhm.
and then apart from that, there is a thing called sattu.
Oh,
So
right.
100 gram of sattu will give you around 25 grams of protein.
Right.
So I take around 150 grams of that, so it gives you 37, 38 grams.
Mm.
And then again, since I am,
Sattu, how do you consume sattu?
so yes, so I have been asked this question many times, and since I come from a place, uh, from a state called Bihar, so Bihar is where sattu is consumed the most.
Right.
So you take that sattu and you mix it with water, lemon juice, salt, and if you want, you can chop very thinly sliced onions, coriander,
Mm.
and mix everything and make it a thick drink. Make
Mm.
it a thick drink, somewhat like a lassi.
Right.
Okay, and then you drink it. Just make sure that you have added enough salt so that it's tasty.
Mm.
Mostly people do the mistake of adding sugar to it,
Mm.
but you add salt and you add all these things, lemon juice, and maybe even if a bit of pickle.
Mm.
So all that makes it very tasty, and
Right.
yeah.
So this is sattu is basically
It's
gram,
black gram,
roasted
and then ground.
then grounded
Yes.
with the cover,
With the husk. Yes.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So 1 scoop of protein powder, whey protein
Yeah.
powder, and then this
Sattu
sattu.
150 grams.
Mm.
So it gives me around 60 to 70 grams of protein,
Mhm.
and then at least 3 to 4 eggs,
Mm.
mostly in the breakfast.
Right.
And then some, if there is some non-vegetarian which has been cooked, then I adapt to that, how to eat and what to eat. Otherwise it will be mostly then those oats. So every night I eat 150 gram of oats with a 200 ml of milk and 4 bananas and a scoop of whey protein
Whey protein.
every night.
Mhm.
So that I soak it in the morning and eat every night.
Right. So that's your dinner?
That's my dinner.
Okay.
So it has a lot of fiber as well.
Mm.
And
So that's when do you have this?
at around 7.
Okay. And then lunch
Yeah.
around 2.
Lunch around 2.
Mhm. Nice. And what is the lunch typically?
So
what
lunch
is-
typically is like like any other Indian home,
Right.
rice, dal with different varieties of veggies and
Mm.
maybe couple of eggs and If there is, mostly I get some chicken breast or chicken thigh and grill it without any oil, just with the hung curd. Yeah, so
Nice, nice. So you kind of make sure that you are getting about
enough
120
protein.
grams
Yes,
of
exactly.
protein per day.
Yeah.
Right. Excellent. Super. And and you get sleep is something that
Yeah.
people
Miss out.
miss out on. Like 8 hours of sleep is good.
Definitely.
For someone who is putting in that much,
Yeah.
it is the bare minimum, I would
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
Excellent.
8 to 9 hours of sleep, I definitely get it.
Yeah, excellent. So that's your daily routine.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Very well-rounded, and I would say a little extreme on the training front, but
Yes,
yeah.
that is true, because after PBP,
Mm.
I decided that yes, I mean, runnering is where I started. This is the thing which got me where but I also have to let the world know
Mm.
that we can be the ultra cyclists who can ride with them in all those tough events like TCR or RAM.
Mm.
And whenever they say the name of some of the top ultra cyclists, our names can be said in the same breath. Let us at least try to do that.
Yeah.
If not, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's that when you have goals like that, definitely you will work towards them,
Yes.
right? So the goals and the work need to be kind of making
Exactly.
sense,
True.
commensurate.
True.
You want to be somewhere, along with the top in the world, and your work cannot be
exactly.
like ordinary,
Exactly.
right? That makes sense. So, and after PBP, you kind of you know s- you went into a bit of hibernation
Yes.
and restarted.
Yeah.
So what next? What happened?
So in 2024 again started with registering for RAP, Race Around Poland, which is this year in June. I think which Amit Samarth did last year.
Right.
That 3,600 kilometer.
Hmm.
So race around. So in 2024 I had very clear idea what I want to do for the next 4 years. I mean, it might happen, might not happen is a different thing.
Right.
But in 2025 I want to do RAP, which I am doing. In 2026 I want to do TCR. again getting on the lottery if that is possible or not.
TCR is
Transcontinental.
transcontinental race, which is
Around 4,000.
4,000 kilometers
I
covering
think Kishan had done that. You had
right.
done the interview.
Yeah,
Kishan.
yeah. So yeah, Kishan was there on the
Yeah.
podcast talking about that. Yeah, 26 is TCR.
26 is TCR. 27 I want to take up the challenge of beating Sanjeev's time, if possible,
PBB.
in PBP. And 28 I want to do RAM. I want to be on the podium of RAM, if that is again possible.
Yeah,
But we will work towards it.
right. That is, having goals
Yeah,
is important.
exactly.
So that aim for the moon,
Exactly.
aim for the stars.
Yes.
You might land on the moon. Kind of also
Exactly,
is very
that is true.
important, right? Excellent. So you 2024 you haven't done any brevets.
2024 first half I didn't do, maybe couple of 200s here and there, a Nandi 200 and all. But end of 2024 I did a breve in December. It was again 1,000 kilometer, Kittur 1,000. It was a good, I think it was a good effort. Did it in under 45 hours, so that was good.
Nice. Under 45 per thousand is pretty good, right?
Lot of bad roads there as well.
Okay.
Karnataka.
So is that the breve where people were complaining that how long is the bad stretch?
It's around 150, 160 kilometers.
Oh, that's pretty
Yeah,
substantial.
It's too much.
Some 10-15% of
Yes.
bad stretches. Okay. That will eat away a lot of time.
Lot of.
Nice.
Because first 12 hours I did 350, but after that it slowed me down considerably.
So what do you think about the ultra races that are coming in India nowadays? Like the there are multiple races, right? Uh, what is that? Inspire India uh, organizes a bunch of
Right,
them,
right.
and so do you take part in any of
I
them?
had registered for Inspire India's race, the Spice Ultra, where
Mhm.
they start from Goa and come back to Ooty and then go back.
Right.
But then they postponed it.
Mhm.
And I look into the races only from the unsupported perspective.
Right.
I don't look into from the crew supported perspective.
Okay.
I mean, I believe I have that mindset of that. Some people say, that cycling purist, that only if you are unsupported you feel that you can, that is the race that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. So, but if you are looking at the long term,
The
the
ram you are talking
RAM
about, yes.
situation, if
Yeah,
it is
that is the only
2018,
thing where I would have to compromise.
you
But yes,
you would have to get a crew
yes,
and get a good
good
crew
crew,
that
exactly,
kind of gels with you.
exactly. That is
So
true.
you might have to kind of start
Mm.
using a crew at least a couple of years,
Yeah, that is true.
before you want kind of to fine tune it,
Yeah,
right? So that's important as well. And so you are, uh, if it is self-supported,
Yeah.
you kind of know most of the variables are in your control,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
But if it is a supported
Crew
thing,
supported, yeah.
it's a lot of dynamic elements kind of come into the picture. And races like RAM, it's only support.
Only support, yeah. I mean, that is the reason why I didn't go for even rain with summer.
Right.
That's Race Across India.
Huh.
I mean, crew support, it's difficult, because you have friends, but everybody has a job. It might not
It
be
is,
possible
it
to
is,
do that commitment.
yeah, it kind of brings a lot of those elements. You need to find people who can give that much amount of
Yeah.
time, right? This is like 10 days,
Yeah.
11 days, whatever thing. I mean, in your case, it might be over in a week, but it's still the
Yeah,
kind of
definitely.
commitment from
Yeah,
a
definitely.
substantial
And
amount.
not only that, prior to that as well, you need to know
Practice
each other
with
like
that,
yes.
practice
That
for
is true.
that. Uh, Practice with the crew, whatever,
Yeah.
a couple of times at least to, if not the whole distance,
Yeah,
some
exactly.
part of it,
Yes,
and all
that
that.
is very true, sir.
That is, yeah, and also it kind of brings in the budgetary
Yeah, exactly.
constraints and all that as
Exactly.
well. Yeah. Yeah, but down the line, I guess that is something
Yeah,
that you have to.
I mean, that is definitely there. I mean, RAM is, why RAM? I would say because, at least in India, I mean, there is a aura behind RAM in India. I don't know about Europe, but in India, there's an aura behind RAM. That is why I want to do RAM. Otherwise, I'm happy with doing raps and TCRs with unsupported races. But,
Right. But there might be aura, around RAM, but what does it feel for you? Do you kind of also look up to something like that?
So, I mean, it's like, RAM, I mean, see, Strasser came from RAM and now he's doing only unsupported rides. So, for me, it would be reverse. And I consider Strasser to be, my idol, although he's just 2 or 3 months elder to me, but he's like the champion.
Yeah, amazing athlete, right?
He's like
What was it? 24 hours?
1,024 kilometers.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah.
Some 40 kmph?
Yes, 40 kmph plus.
For 40 plus kmph for the entire 24 hours is just, he is a beast, right?
Correct.
Amazing. So coming to, let's talk about the race across Karnataka, right?
Yeah.
The self-supported race. How did you kind of think about it? How did you plan for it?
So last year in November, I had registered for again a race which Mohan sir conducts, Arohan's WER, Western Endurance Race. So WER I had registered. It was a 1500 kilometer race with, it was also self-supported. And there were a couple of dropbacks which Mohan sir had provided with around 19,000 meter of elevation. So it was a very challenging route.
Hmm.
It was in November. We started, but
Sorry, I missed the distance. What is the distance?
1500
1500 and 19,000 kilometers.
meters of elevation.
Wow. Hmm.
So we started, and so first day it was too hot in Tamil Nadu.
Hmm.
I think 40 plus, definitely 44, 45, what was showing on Garmin. So I got a bit dehydrated. Dehydrated in the sense that, I got that hyperanatria where I kept drinking water, but I didn't take the electrolytes.
Ah,
So my tummy was bloated
right.
and I'm feeling very, very low.
Hmm.
So I sat at a bakery, and then, for an hour put my head down, then felt all good. Then it was fine. Then I climbed Yerkard and came down. But the mistake what I did was, after coming back from Yerkard, there was small shop open,
Hmm.
which I never do. I ate there, and what I ate was parota and chicken.
Hmm.
I never eat that. I
Yeah.
never. But I wanted to eat something else. But that guy said, sir, this is very fresh. You eat this. So I ate that, and by the time it was 4 o'clock, I was like, got huge diarrhea.
Oh, man.
So I was not able to control. I was vomiting, and also I had a lot of
Loosies.
issues. Yes. So by 6 a.m. in the morning, I reached the base of Kodai.
Hmm.
I told Mohan sir, I think it's difficult. I'll
Hmm.
take a room,
Hmm.
and then I will. So I took a hotel there, stayed for a day, couldn't eat anything because it was,
It's all
too much
coming
of
out.
tummy pain.
Right.
Next day, sir said, do you want to continue? I said, no, now I don't want to continue because the race is gone for me. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to just finish the race.
Hmm.
But, in the back of the mind, there was something which was saying me, are you quitting because you are done, or are you quitting because you are scared? So I thought, okay, since I have quit the race now, let me ride back to Bangalore.
Hmm.
So I rode from Palani to Bangalore in the morning. I started. I reached by evening.
What was the distance from?
I think around 370 kilometers.
Hmm.
I rode back home. By the time
In
I
that
reached home,
in that situation where you are not able
yes,
to eat
I have
and all.
not been. Yeah, I am not able to eat. I am, but I just wanted to see whether am I running away or am I really not well.
What what were you thinking that you were running away from?
I mean, I don't know.
Uh,
So because I had this race for 1 year in
hmm.
plan,
Hmm.
but so by the time I reached home, I was completely done.
Yeah.
After that, I got hospitalized for 3-4 days,
Damn.
and I was bed rest for a month.
Wow.
So it made worse, but it made me feel that okay, I didn't run away.
No, but it is a little dangerous,
Yes,
isn't
yes.
it?
Yeah, definitely.
That when you are in a situation where that kind of you it is important because that self questioning,
Yeah,
right? That questioning yourself when you are in a tough situation, when you are in a situation where you are giving up,
yeah,
you got to ask yourself that, am I not really well?
yeah,
And that's the only reason that I am, that is the only reason because of which I am
quitting.
quitting, or is it that I am afraid of
Right.
this race,
Hmm.
or afraid of the competition, or afraid of something else,
Right.
right? But it is clear for everyone
I
and
know,
for
it was-
yourself also
was-
that you are
It was foolishness.
right, you were vomiting, you
Yeah.
are not able to keep anything down, you
Yeah,
are
that is true.
loses food poisoning. It's
Food
clear
poisoning.
clear
Yeah.
case of food
It was food
poisoning, right?
poisoning.
So there is nothing that is mental there, right?
Yeah, that is true.
So riding back
Yes,
is
I mean,
is kind of
eccentric.
punishing yourself for quitting
Yes,
in a
that is
way,
true.
but that ended up costing you a month.
Yeah, it ended up costing me a month. I also lot of joint pain. So back then there was some viral fever which was going on, which was arthritis sort of viral fever. I
Chikungunya kind of
yes, exactly.
symptoms.
I contracted that as well. So for a month it was hell.
Right.
So then again started back on training from November, and in January I thought, okay, now I'm fit and I have reached my weight goal, which is below 63. So now let me do something big, something. Let me put a VUCA record.
So, but when was this this falling sick and all this?
It was in October.
Okay.
So November, December, January, 3 months
Right.
after that.
So basically that month of being sick
Yes,
helped you lose weight.
lose weight and also made me, think that what I need to do.
Introspection.
Yeah. So let me go for the VUCA record. So Srini had done this route, Monish had curated this route. But the route was only, it started from Decathlon in
on OMR.
yeah, OMR and ended at Nelmangla, since it was a race that they were doing.
Right.
But if I had to do circumnavigation, it has to be, cross, it has to overlap. So then I increased the route to Vidhan Sauda, and then applied for VUCA attempt. So got a green signal. It was all done within 20 days, and I had no time to recce the route. And the route recce was done 2.5 years back by Monish and Srini.
Right.
I just believed in the route, and I said, whatever it is,
So before we get started in, how the race itself went, what is the procedure to kind of apply for VUCA record?
So, you have to be a member. So I took the
VUCA
membership.
is
World Ultra Cycling Association.
right.
So I became the member, and then I registered that I am going to do this circumnavigation of Karnataka in a state in India, and it will be a solo unsupported effort. So for crew supported, they have their own official also in the car, but unsupported effort requires you to submit many other things, pictures and all.
Right.
So and then gave them the route map and then the waypoints, everything, whatever they asked for, signed some documents, and then they said that okay, it's a green signal, you can go ahead and do it.
Right. Okay. And then you started this.
Yeah, I started on 31st at 5 a.m. So the route is like, you start from here, go to Kolar, then to Mulbagal, and then you go to Gauri Bidnur, Chintamani, and then to Chikballapura. Till Chikballapura, the route was good. But from Chikballapura to Madhugiri, road was very bad. I didn't expect, although I had not done the recce. But I said, okay, theek hai. It's my luck. Kept going. Chikballa reached Madhugiri, then Sira and Chitradurga. So the mistake what I did in this ride was that I started the way I start Breve. It's like, go full out. And then because I know in Breves, it's like, even if it's 1,000 kilometer, I'll maximum spend 2 days. So I'll even if I don't sleep, I'll come back home and sleep. But this is not that.
Right.
So in 12 hours, I did 330 plus. But by the time I took from Chitradurga, I took left towards Hospet, I started feeling sleepy. So the target for the first day for me was 600 plus in 24 hours. But I started feeling sleepy at 400 kilometers. I thought, okay, sleepy, it's like, make the plan on the go. So I found the best place to sleep. It was a closed shop. I had carried a Mylar blanket, that emergency blanket, and Odomos cream. I lied down there and slept for I think couple of hours. Then got up and started from there and reached Hospet around 490 kilometers at around 2 in the morning. So I thought, chalo, abhi to 600 to gaya out of the picture now. Let me see how much can I do. But the moment I take the road from Hospet to Ballari. Man, I mean, the first 20 to 30 kilometer was only for trucks. I mean, there is no road at all. Okay, it's only this big stones. Other than truck, I don't see anything. I don't see
Right.
cars going,
Hmm.
bikes going. I am thinking, how am I gonna cycle on this?
Right.
And I had a lot of worry.
Hmm.
I hope there is no mechanical issue.
Hmm.
And I run on tubeless.
Hmm.
So I mean, there shouldn't be a so within 10 kilometers,
Hmm.
490 to 500, I got so frustrated that I saw a petrol pump and I decided to sleep again.
Hmm.
Okay, I slept again for 2 hours, got up at 4, and I thought, chalo, there is nothing that I can do now.
Hmm.
It's like I have started, so I have to end it. So in first 24 hours, I did 520,
Hmm.
which was way beyond my expectation.
Hmm.
But you have to
Way
take
below
it.
your
Yeah,
expectation. Yeah.
but you have to take it, as it goes.
Hmm.
And then, but after 30-kilometer, roads got a bit better.
Right.
It was patchy,
Hmm.
but it was still better. I was able to cycle. Reached Ballari, and the next target was Yadgir. So Monish had said that try to cross Yadgir and all those areas in the daytime. But after Ballari, again the next 40 to 50 kilometers, roads vanished.
Hmm.
There was no road, and you can't even ride in a straight line. So I'm like, I'm thinking, I mean, what am I into? I mean, what is
What have I
this?
signed up
Yes.
for? Yeah.
Yeah, and since it was like huge, announcement and all that, so I thought, अब तो करना ही है.
Yeah.
It's like I can't go back. I have to do it. It's okay. I spoke to Moni. She said, just keep going.
Hmm.
Roads might get better.
Right.
And yeah, it did get better.
Hmm.
At some places, the road were really bad. I mean, if you see the pictures, you will see how bad the road was. And somehow I was able to reach Yadgir. But there were a couple of very good moments when on the way, at a shop. I mean, at 3 places in Yadgir district, I ate or drank something. I didn't pay anything.
Wow.
People didn't allow me to pay. So there was a hotel, a restaurant. In front of that, there was a bus stop. I stopped there at around 2, and I thought, let me just rest for a while, 5-10 minutes, and then I'll continue again. So that restaurant, one guy came out. He called me in. I didn't want to go, but okay, I went in. Then he said, what do you want to drink? So I took a Coke, and after that, have you eaten something? I said, yeah, but do you have something? So get me a egg fried rice or something. So made that and gave it to me. But then when I went to pay, he hit the QR code. So yeah, so that happened once, and then twice it was the people who were in the shop, they paid for me, saying
Nice.
that
Nice.
this is best that we can help you.
Right.
You are doing something big, so
Yeah.
keep doing this.
Yeah.
And since I know Kannada very well because of me staying here from past 20 plus years and my wife being a Kannadiga, so yeah, I was
Nice.
able to converse with people very well.
Yeah, that is also very important, right?
Yeah.
People are kind. People are always willing to help you in whatever way they can, especially when they see someone on a cycle,
Yeah.
self-powered, way to kind of do something, right? They immediately, it becomes a kind of conversation starter.
Yes.
They're curious. What are you doing? Why are you doing? Why can't you afford a motorbike?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
can I drop you somewhere?
Yeah.
All these kind, and also they're very curious and also like kind and
Yeah,
trying to help
definitely.
in whatever way they can.
Definitely. And I feel, knowing the language helps a lot.
That's a
They
that's
feel
a
that
that's a huge.
you belong with them,
Correct. It's not just in Karnataka. Wherever you are,
Exactly.
you are speaking a local dialect. That means there is an immediate bridge.
Exactly.
There is no gap.
Exactly.
And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and now I've been here 14 years. I can understand every bit of Kannada. I can even read Kannada, but I'm not speaking Kannada. This is something that I really, really want to do, and I have to make time for this. Excellent. Okay, so those are some of the
Yeah.
memorable.
So then reached Yadgir at around 6,
Hmm.
which was the revised target.
Hmm.
And from there again, going to the route to a place called Humnabad.
Hmm.
So on the way there were a couple of forest stretches. So a couple of bike guys who were passing me asked what I was doing, and then they said there is a forest stretch.
Hmm.
So be careful or don't go now, go in the morning.
Hmm.
So that all is not going to happen. No,
Right.
I can't.
You
waste
can't
time.
stop. Yeah.
Okay, then they passed. Then I see a bike guy coming back again and riding with me till I crossed the forest area. So that was again a very, very
Nice.
touching
That's very,
feeling,
very,
right?
yeah.
So
They be there as your escort,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
In case some animal,
Yes.
some
Correct.
elephant or something is
Correct.
there, you are alone. You wanted to be there to kind of
Exactly.
make sure that you are safe. And he's a complete stranger.
Yeah, complete stranger.
Right. Amazing.
I mean, that was very
Hmm.
touching gesture. And then crossed from there, and it was now again time to sleep. I had reached around 930 kilometers,
Hmm.
and I wanted to sleep now. It was around 1 o'clock in the night.
Hmm.
Okay, I stopped at a place, a clothes shop again. I opened my shoes and jersey and all, and to tell you, I didn't carry any extra jersey or bib short with me. It was whatever I was wearing,
Right.
nothing extra.
Ah.
So I opened those jersey, and so I was wearing a base layer. So and I opened everything, and then I was about to lie down. I see a lot of ants.
Oh.
So, "Arey yaar." And now you can't wear everything. It'll take time.
Ah.
So then I walked around and saw, okay, there was a tea shop with some benches. So I somehow tried to rearrange the bench and sleep there, but it was not very comfortable because the floor was not flat.
Hmm.
But somehow I could lie down for a couple of hours.
Hmm.
Got up at around 4:30, left. The moment I go 10 steps ahead, I see a good place where I could have slept. But
Yeah.
this is what it is. So I knew I missed a chance, and this is going to hurt me today.
Right.
So 2 days done, this was the third day.
Hmm.
So somehow I touched the highway, the Humnabad highway, Pune Machilipatnam highway.
Hmm.
It was very cold.
Right.
It was, I think it was in the single digit. It was very cold in the morning, early morning at around 5. And so that from on that highway reached Humnabad, and from there started towards Kalburgi. But again, it was a state highway to Kalburgi, so very rolling and not a very smooth tarmac. Very,
Chip.
rough.
Rough.
Yes. Chipped or sort of a.
Right.
But somehow reached Kalburgi.
Gravelly kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Reached Kalburgi and then wanted to eat something. But none of the shops there were serving idli or dosa or anything like that. They were serving something else which I couldn't get the name. I said, nah, I can't experiment with this now. So kept going further. Finally, I found a big restaurant where they were serving idli. So ate there. And then my next target from there was to reach Vijaypura by evening. So, and Vijaypura would be 1200 kilometers.
Right.
Means 60 hours at least I had to reach Vijaypura. But since I had not slept the night before, so at around in the afternoon, I saw a good shade bus stop, which was a lot of trees were there. So I decided, okay, let me lie down for an hour or so. If I can sleep, I think it will make my ride more better. Lie down for 10 minutes. Some person with motorcycle comes, stops there. He starts speaking to me. I mean,
not the right time,
not
dude.
the right time. But again, got up in another 20 minutes and left.
Yeah.
Made it to Vijaypura by 6, around 1200 kilometers. But it was like, 1100 more.
Hmm.
And the tough part starts after Belgaum.
Yeah. Tough
So
in the sense more climbs.
more climbs and a lot of rolling.
Hmm.
Till now it was just the tarmac and the terrain which was bad.
Hmm.
The roads were bad, but now the challenging terrain will start.
Right.
So okay, so the plan was to ride whole night
Hmm.
and reach Belgaum by 6 in the morning. So 200 kilometers from Vijaypura to Belgaum. It was a state highway. I started on the state highway, but again it didn't look like a very great highway
Hmm.
and lot of traffic as well. So I was scared as well. Ki, am I gonna reach Belgaum by morning or not?
Right.
But after I think 10 kilometers, the highway smoothened.
Hmm.
It became a smooth tarmac, and there were a lot of small towns on the way. So no challenge with food and hydration.
Super.
So at around 9, I started feeling sleepy. It was in Jamkhandi. It has a big sugar factory.
Yeah.
So there I found a very good place to sleep. I kept my cycle down and went over to sleep. Again, so I had a aero bar bag which
Yeah.
was given by Grini,
Hmm.
Grinshina Karthik. So everything was in that aero bar bag. The blankets, the different you know all those lotions and everything was in that aero bar bag. So every time I have to go to sleep, take that potli out
Hmm.
from the cycle, go and keep it, and then take things out. I'm lying down. Somebody comes, speaks to me 2 minutes, and then says, "You take your cycle and keep it here only."
Hmm.
I kept my cycle. I could sleep there for 2 hours, good sleep,
Hmm.
peaceful. Got up, and then I was able to belt and reach
Hmm.
Belgaum by 6 in the morning.
Hmm.
I reached Belgaum by 6, so it was 72 hours done, more than
Right.
72 hours, with around 1400 kilometers of
Hmm.
riding done. But now the challenge was that I needed to charge all my lights and power banks and phones, because
Everything is running out.
everything is running out. So I thought, and the challenge which I knew when I started the ride was that in India it's not possible to get a hotel at any time of day or night,
Hmm.
and they don't usually allow the cycles inside.
Right.
It's never the case that they allow the cycle inside.
Yeah.
And if you tell them the cost of the cycle, then
This is a
yeah.
risky thing.
So
Hmm.
I knew it's going to be a challenge. So what I did was that again I decided to sleep at the bus stop, but God had other plans. So somebody was walking, and he asked, we spoke, and then he said, no, no, you come and sleep at my home. Went there, slept for 2-3 hours, took
Amazing.
bath,
Yeah.
charged everything. So I almost spent 6 hours there,
Yeah.
charged everything, and left from that place at around 12.
Hmm.
So that was like a
Recharge.
lifesaver.
Recharge for
Yes,
your
everything.
devices and for you
And
as well.
Lifesaver. Then from there, Belgaum starts the challenging part. All that rolling terrains, the ghat section of Khanapur and Ramnagar, and then while I was I had to get down from the Karwar Ghat.
Hmm.
Okay. So the roads were very bad.
Hmm.
I mean, very, very bad.
Hmm.
After I reached the Karwar Ghat, I reached down. There was a police checkpost.
Hmm.
They stopped me, and they are asking me, "Why have you come from this way?"
Hmm.
I said, "Nobody stopped me when I started."
Hmm.
No, no, this is a very bad, stretch. A lot of animals are there.
Hmm.
You shouldn't come from this way.
Hmm.
I said, "Okay," but
Hmm.
there was no information.
Yeah.
He said, "That is why the road is bad, so that it is to discourage people." Okay, ठीक है, fine. Somehow they let me go. I go for a kilometer. There's a patrolling police jeep. It stops
again.
me. Again, they are asking. I have to explain everything for 5 minutes. Explained everything. Okay, then they again let me go. The moment I touch the Bangalore highway, there is another police patrol. They stop me again. I explain it to them again, and then I am allowed to go. I go for 10-20 kilometers. I see a petrol jeep over there. I said, I am not going to answer
Not
again.
going to
So I
stop.
see a bus stop here.
Yeah.
I am going to sleep over here.
Yeah.
I think which was a mistake because it was very cold even on the coastal area.
Hmm.
Very cold. And the bus stop had only this narrow seats.
Right.
So there was no way that I could sleep.
Sleep.
So I slept down on the floor and covered myself with a blanket. But by the time I got up in the morning at around 5, my knees were jammed. Because of the cold of the floor,
Right.
I
Yeah.
was not. It was fourth day.
Like literally frozen.
Yes,
Yeah.
knees were frozen. It was not moving at all. Somehow I, tried to warm it up and then started. But it was very, very painful, to start. So, and this was at 1620 kilometers. After 4 days, 1620 kilometers. Okay, at around 5. But then as I move, I start getting a lot of saddle sore, saddle pain, bum pain. So I am not able to move at all. Knee pain and back pain, bum pain both. Till 12:30, from 6 o'clock till 12:30, I had covered only 20 kilometers.
Jeez.
I am not able to move. Every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'm taking a break, lying down, trying to nurse it one way or the other, but not helping. Then I had taken some very heavy painkillers with me because I knew situation will come. So I just took a painkiller. I spoke to my wife. He said, no, this is not how it's done. You have to go. So, okay. At 12:30,
Tough taskmaster.
I decided, okay, let us go. So then I could manage for the next 4-5 hours, 25 kilometer per hour, and reached Suratkal by evening. Then I think after Suratkal, there was a stretch which was again very, very rolling, very difficult, around 80 to 20 percentage climbs as well. But climbing is not an issue. I mean, the issue is if you give me a good road, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But then again, I reached a place called Bantwal where the roads were very bad. They were constructing, I think they are constructing that flyover from past 2 years. There has been no improvement and the roads are very bad. But luckily the route took us to a different route and it was all flat and very, very fast rolling. So by the time I reached a place called Puttur, which is just before you start climbing the Madikeri Ghat. There is a place called Puttur. Since there was no much effort from my side, I started feeling sleepy again. Although I had decided since this is gonna be the last night, I'm not going to sleep. But when sleep
the
calls,
body is
yes.
kind of,
So okay, I slept at Puttur for 2 hours and then got up and started again. Somehow reached Sulia and climbed the so Madikeri Ghat is in 2 sections, right? One is there 17.7 and then another is 4.5 kilometer. So climbed the 17.7 kilometers and stopped for a tea shop at around 7 o'clock in the morning. After I got up and started for the second climb, I am not able to move. Both my knees are paining a lot. Huge pain. So I thought in my mind it came that okay, this is because from 5 days my foot is stuck, cleats, and it's the same movement. That is why I'm having this knee pain. So what I did was that I took off the shoe, I held my cycle, and I started running uphill with the cycle and the shoe. I ran for 20-25 minutes uphill, and then I wore the shoe and I could pedal off easily.
Oh.
So my logic was if I change the movement of my feet, of my knees, I think it might ease up.
Right.
And it did ease up.
The muscles are,
Yes,
needed a different kind of
exactly.
release, I guess.
Exactly. So then it eased up. And I think this I would like to bring up for people who are suffering with knee pain. Try to walk it off or run it off for 10 minutes. I think that will definitely help in some long rides.
Well, also because you are used to running, almost daily, right?
Yeah.
someone who is not used to might not work.
Might
for it,
not work.
But
for
yeah.
that.
Uh,
So then I climbed Madikeri, and then it was the home run last 270 kilometers.
hmm.
But the mind plays tricks as you near the finish line. The pain had become so bearable, the buttock pain, the saddle sores, that last 60 kilometers I am not able to move. I am taking every 30 kilometer I am taking a painkiller,
Uh,
a very strong muscle relaxant, and somehow finished at 10 o'clock in 137 hours.
hmm.
Yeah, so it was like ride time was 100 hours,
Hmm.
and 137 hours was the total elapsed time.
Hmm.
So around 75% of the time was spent on cycle,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
25% on.
Yeah, but you see, see every challenge kind of teaches you something,
Yeah,
right? We plan meticulously. You plan everything to the T, but there are factors that are really not under your control.
true.
The road conditions,
Yeah.
maybe you could have gone on a car or something to recce, but it's like,
Yeah. No, if I would have recceed, I wouldn't have done this. I wouldn't have. I
you
was
wouldn't
very
have
clear.
taken up the
Yes,
challenge
I
itself.
wouldn't.
Like, it's not something that
Yes,
is doable in
doable
the
on a
current
cycle,
situation.
correct.
Right, right. But yeah, it's kind of every challenge teaches you
Yeah,
something.
definitely. I mean, it taught me
Yeah,
my own limits,
right.
what to do, when to do,
Hmm.
and I think once I go for even longer events, this experience will help me
Definitely,
with that.
right? You would have seen the challenge, the like you were saying, the mind plays tricks.
Yeah,
Different situations, it kind of reacts differently.
correct.
It kind of tries to, it's a tool for your self-preservation,
That is true.
isn't it?
Yeah.
That tries to get you to a safer place.
Yeah.
And you are punishing the body,
Yes.
and its job, the mind's job, is to kind of
Yes,
preserve the body.
correct. That is true.
So it's always a negotiation with that,
Yeah.
right? Excellent. It like all these negotiations, all these mind playing tricks, if you kind of understand what is happening, how to kind of negotiate with it, it teaches you a lot, I guess.
Definitely, definitely.
Mm.
And I feel anybody who wants to test themselves,
Mm.
who has ambitions of doing a TCR or even a RAM
Mm.
at a future point, should go ahead and do this ride, crew supported
Mm.
or unsupported.
Mm.
I mean, crew supported also would be equally tough. Only your sleep and all might be sorted, but
Mm.
this ride will definitely give you a lot of experience. This
Right.
sort of terrain and challenges, because out of these 2300 kilometers, I feel around 5 to 600 kilometers were very bad and very patchy roads.
Mm. Mm. That is, yeah, that is a big part of it.
Yeah,
It's a
so I
challenge.
mean, I would suggest people to do this.
Mm.
Of course, as the roads, I mean, some roads, it's like, it's such a long route that every time, every road might not be good.
Yeah, I mean,
You have to always keep in
the
mind
patches that are
variables.
bad now
Yeah,
might be okay,
yeah.
but the patches that are good now
Yeah,
can
exactly.
go for a toss. It's
Exactly.
like
So,
for that long
yes.
distance.
You have to keep in mind 25% of the route will definitely be bad all the time.
Mm. Yeah, maybe if it is Tamil Nadu or Kerala, it might not be that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
No, and North Karnataka is a bit,
Mm.
there are some patchy roads, right? So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. That's like an amazing feat, considering all the conditions, right? So what next for the remaining?
for this year, I have race around Poland,
Hmm.
and then
It is in June, you were
June,
saying?
yeah,
Right.
and then go for LEL after that.
So July is the LEL,
July and August 3rd is LEL,
or August
and
3rd is
June
LEL.
28th is race around Poland.
Race around Poland is how long?
3,600.
3,600 and self-supported kind of.
So they have two formats: crew
Hmm.
supported and self-supported.
Right. So awesome. All the very best for that.
Thank you.
what are some of the tips that you would give fellow working athletes, to do well?
First thing is to have a goal,
Hmm.
whatever goal it is, maybe running, whatever. If the goal is to ride a 600, then work towards that goal definitely. And uh, more than training, I feel the nutrition and the rest and recovery matters a lot.
Hmm.
Otherwise, there will be definitely a burnout which will happen at later point of time.
True.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And second thing is very important point is be efficient with whatever you are doing. Even if you are doing a stop or a sleep break or whatever, be very efficient with it.
Hmm.
Only then you can do those longer rides.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. The great tips that will definitely help the new riders and experienced as well. But thank you very much for taking the time and sharing your experience with the Working Athlete podcast. It's been a fantastic conversation.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure was all mine.
Thank you. And all the very best for the future events.
Thank you.
That was my conversation with Abhishek. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the podcast by subscribing to it on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another episode.